Rule number 1, do not drop the chick.
Don't drop the chick.
If you were a crane, this is what you'd be seeing, man. I would be up in your grill, and your grill would be up in mine.
Don't squeeze them too hard.
So soft. Why do you dress up like this and run around in the rain and the mud, chasing cranes?
And I'd say from costume to production, we are winging it.
On this episode, these people are not auditioning for the local Christmas pageant.
It's very,
White.
yeah.
They're trying to be good stewards and save the whooping crane from extinction
22 birds were alive in 1942.
on the planet. To succeed, they'll do just about anything. How's that? That's not bad.
That looks super cool.
The segment we have today, as you probably have already been told, we have zero information going in. There's been no scout. It's literally been people back in Los Angeles talking to people in Baltimore, Maryland,
Laurel.
Maryland, which is different than Baltimore.
The crew and I are headed to the Patuxent Wildlife Research Center to meet Dr. John French and his team, who are working hard to get the whooping crane off of the endangered species list. This is hot off the presses from people in Los Angeles.
So from what I hear, we're not going to be able to do much talking, and we're going to be wearing these huge white burqa suits that look like birds. Are you comfortable with that?
Serious? Our first conception of this story intro. I have an idea to intro the story. That's awesome. We could maybe do a verite thing where we acknowledge that we usually send the crew to scout first, but for this story, figuring out how to shoot it will be as important. You just did that.
We did.
This happens not far from where I grew up in Maryland. So along the way, I'm dazzling the fellas with my knowledge of local landmarks.
What's that?
That's a landmark. The Patuxent Wildlife Research Center is a landmark that I'm not familiar with. Happily, my crew has conducted extensive research. You haven't been here, you haven't scouted. You
No.
really have not done one thing.
Not one thing. We are going in with no plan.
And I'd say from costume to production, we are winging it.
Oh.
How bad is that?
The first thing I learned about Dr. French, well, he's a good-natured bureaucrat who likes to personally give out the name tags.
Wow, look at that. You want to hand those to Dan? He could probably
Okay.
use our coordinator.
Well, actually, I'd like to do it just to meet everyone.
Okay,
here.
yeah. Daniel.
Hello, you
Mike.
bureaucrat.
Nice to meet you.
How are you?
Okay.
Now that I'm duly tagged, time to get down to business.
We're very careful about what these young birds see and hear. So around the birds, no talking, and you're in costume, which is going to mean you look like you're wearing a burqa, and you got a little puppet head, or somebody with you has a little puppet head,
Right.
and we're training the birds to do what they need to do when we release them.
Is there some sort of sign language that we might incorporate in order to...
Yes, use your whooping crane.
I'll channel my inner whooping
Yes.
crane and you'll know what I mean.
There you go.
Okay. So right now we're going to follow you about how far to where?
Couple miles down the road to the
Okay.
crane breeding area.
I have many questions. I'll start with an easy one. So let me just get a couple preliminaries out of the way. What's the program officially called?
The whooping crane restoration program, I guess, is a good way to describe it.
Also, where are my manners, just to be official? Your name is?
Robert Doyle?
Robert Doyle.
Brian Klaus.
Brian Klaus.
Rachel Roberts. Jane Chandler.
Jane Chandler. This is going to be great. So is this the premier place in the country for this work?
In all humility, yes.
Jane, would you concur?
Yes.
Rachel?
Yes.
All right, so we're
Thank
exactly...
you, Rachel. Thank you, Jane. That was a good answer.
All right, so we're in the right place. We're in the right place with the right people. Will somebody whoop for us before we go? How's that? That's not bad. All right, good. I think we're all set. We're off to see cranes.
You and I can go into some observation pens over here and get up close and personal. These birds are native only to North America. 22 birds were alive in 1942
On the planet.
on the planet. We figured there were something like 3 or 4 breeding females, essentially extinct.
You went down to 3. I mean,
well,
for all
3 or 4
practical-
breeding females,
Right.
yeah.
How many today?
Something over 500 in total. personally, I kind of got into the whole field because I was interested in bird watching as a young kid, and liked the challenge of the scientific process. But I think, once you develop those tools, it's important to put them to good use, and certainly conservation of natural resources is also. So there's sort of a moral aspect to it. So those are the two things that drive me, I think. Just the curiosity and great interest in the natural world, and the kind of moral side of it. Yes, right. So these are sandhill cranes you're hearing here.
Right.
Sandhill cranes are very common in North America.
Are they endangered or not?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. Why is it we have sandhill cranes here?
Yes.
We have sandhills here because they're a surrogate species.
Surrogate in what way?
They incubate whooping crane eggs.
Right.
Sometimes we can get 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 eggs from a bird who's normally laying only 2. What do we do with those eggs?
I have no idea, Doctor. What do you do?
We stick them under sandhill cranes to incubate.
Of course.
Robert, take Mike, show him the fine art of grooming a crane.
That's what I want to see. Why is he so annoyed?
He's trying to defend his territory.
Okay, so a lot of these birds still have eggs.
What kind of damage could be inflicted with the? I mean, serious.
Yes, you could get injured for sure. People pecked and bitten.
So, Jane, would you be opposed to me on a little broom wrangling?
Caleb, you can.
Okay.
Hold your hands back further.
Like this?
Yeah.
Here he comes.
Easy, Caleb. Hey, buddy. I know. Look, it's not a lawnmower. I'm not going to mess with you. There you go. Just back a little bit.
Good job.
That's good. I mean, it's always good to do something with your day that you've never ever done before, you know? Today I kept a crane at bay with a broom. Done so much work with brooms over the years, Jane, but this really is a bold new world. Hey! Whoa! Stop that. No. If you're just joining us, I'm at the Patuxent Wildlife Research Center in Laurel, Maryland. Trying not to get pecked to death. No. Whoa! Stop that. No. Wish me luck. No.
Okay, we're leaving. So just back up. Don't turn your back to him.
Hey! No. Whoa! Stop that. You got a wild puma maybe I can introduce myself to? Thank you. See, if you were a crane, this is what you'd be seeing, man. I would be up in your grill, and your grill would be up in mine. It'd be like a lot of this and a lot of that. They can smell fear. So when you approach the crane with the broom, you need to assume a posture of dominance. Like so.
Well done.
That was the first sound of faint praise I've gotten from Jane all day. I'm feeling pretty good.
There you go.
Some people wait all their lives to be on TV. Jane is not one of those people. Jane, come here and say something interesting. You know what you are? You are a reluctant subject, aren't you?
Yes.
Well, it's best to be honest. Why do you hate television?
Let's talk about cranes.
See what happens? I'm just. All right. You've only been here 3 months? Mm-hmm. And so far you're loving it?
I do.
What's up with Jane?
Jane's my hero.
Tell me why.
She is so smart and driven.
Okay, so look, this show, as you may know, is about people who are truly driven and very passionate. And it certainly seems like Dr. French fits the bill, but I'm thinking Jane is right there, maybe even more so. She's a true believer.
Yes.
She's committed to the crane.
I don't think she owns a t-shirt that doesn't have a whooping crane on it.
Seriously?
Yeah. She only owns like whooping crane t-shirts.
I love that.
Yeah, she's amazing.
You think she'd autograph one for me? We'll have to see how the day goes.
Yeah, she can autograph your hat.
Would you? All right. I meet people like Jane all the time on this show. Typically, they don't give autographs. But sometimes, they're open to bribery. I mean, if you guys would be willing to give the show a try, I'd come back and mow your lawn. After the sandhills have taken the whooping crane eggs under their wing, the eggs are then moved to an incubator where they're monitored until they hatch. And that is where things get really weird.
We're very careful about what these young birds see and hear. So around the birds, no talking, and you're in costume, which is going to mean you look like you're wearing a burqa and you got a little puppet head,
Right.
and we're training the birds to do what they need to do when we release them.
Honey, get in here. That dirty guy put on a burqa. So we're here in Maryland at the Patuxent Wildlife Research Center to work with Dr. French as he strives to bring the whooping crane back from the brink of extinction. We're going to check in on some new whooping crane chicks. Quietly.
Okay, what's the plan?
Let's gear up and I'll show you some basics about handling chicks and we'll go check out some babies.
I've been handling chicks all my life.
Not like these. If you're uncomfortable and can't see, you're doing it right.
If I had a nickel for every time I've heard that. It's very,
White.
yeah. Whose am I wearing?
You're wearing yours, made especially for you.
Hand makes these.
No, you custom made
And she
this.
custom made it
seamstress.
for you.
So
Well, let's
if you
just
wish, you
take a
keep
moment,
yours.
drink all this in. Why are we doing this?
Dr. Olson?
Dr. Olson?
We're in these costumes to disguise our human shapes. Secondarily, to sort of look like a white crane, but we don't really look like a crane. But we don't look like humans. That's the main purpose. To keep the chicks from associating with humans after they're released.
Right. Let's
So
make
we
sure
could just
get
put our
this.
hoods down now and you could get a good there.
I want to give you a few pointers before we go in there on how to hold the chicks.
Okay,
Rule number 1, do not drop the chick.
don't drop the chick.
Rule 2, don't squeeze them too hard.
Don't squeeze the chick too hard. Let's do this.
All right, visors down, voices off, and let's go.
Doctor, what's the official name for this?
Crane costume. Sounds pretty simple, huh?
So you went ahead and focus group that?
Yeah.
Take it. Oh, no, I can't talk. So I'm going in there now.
These chicks are getting a basic checkup to make sure they're healthy.
In total silence. I said silence. Being this quiet for this long in real life is awkward. It's even more awkward to be this quiet for this long on television. See what I mean? Oh, this is kind of interesting. The big one's fake. I had no idea. Shh. They're so soft. Oh, yeah.
They're little balls of fluff.
Yeah, thank you. I'll remember this for a long time.
Okay.
And this is mine. to
That is
cherish.
yours. You may keep if you wish.
Next, Dr. French invited me to meet some even younger chicks.
Come on over here. Sharon and I are going to show you the incubator room. This is the,
Incubator room.
yeah, so there are incubators in there, right?
Ingenious.
When they're late term, maybe within 5 days of hatching, they start to peep. And in the wild, the adult birds talk back to them and they develop a bit of a pair bond before they even hatch.
preconditioned.
Yeah.
Genius. You guys are like scientists.
The hatching tray is right down there.
We collect the eggs from the poopers when they lay them. We bring them in here, we measure them, and then we take them out and we stick them under sandhill crane pairs. And they stay under those pairs for like 3 weeks or so. Then they come back in here for the last few days.
What's that sound?
The turner.
Oh, jeez, it sounds just like an egg cracking. Like that's
Don't say that.
bad.
Sharon's gonna try and make one of them peep for you.
Okay. Wait. Where's my microphone?
I can feel him tapping.
Unbelievable. I think he's saying, get me out.
No, we got that one. That's great. Wow. Voice from the egg.
I heard it.
Welcome to, did you hear it?
Yeah, because I asked him, I said, well, I hear it like a cheeping. Is that
That's
chirping?
it.
Is that what I'm supposed
Well,
to
I
hear?
had him right on the microphone.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I wasn't sure if that's what I was listening for, or if that was in like another room or something.
Make sure we use that. That's very cool.
Now that the chicks have pair bonded and imprinted, the next stage is to build up their strength and get them used to the outside. It's a necessary step in socializing the chicks, so as adults, they'll be able to join together in a flock. Hello again.
Hey.
Should we be whispering?
Yeah, this is good, yeah.
Okay, this is good. What happens next?
We're gonna take a chick for a walk. Part of their development is exercising them out in the grassy areas and getting them running around.
Does he have a name?
No,
Why not?
you can name him.
Look at all, his name's 14001.
We call him number one.
My guy can come with.
Yeah.
Troy's okay.
Yeah, I can't guarantee what will happen with the camera.
Do what you can, Troy. Make yourself presentable.
I hear you're a big fan of puppets. This is a mechanical puppet, so you can actually...
This works?
We call them the grabby puppets.
I would say so. It's very mouthy.
It's very useful when you're giving chicks treats so that they don't have to see your hands.
May I?
Yes, you can have that one all to yourself.
Oh, thank you. I enjoy puppets. I enjoy puppet. Sorry.
Shh. So
Oh, that looks better, right?
that's much better.
Okay.
I still can't guarantee he won't run away, but if he does, we'll get him back.
Take a look at Troy and tell me, if you were a crane, would you run for your life?
Cover up.
Dangerous.
It's the costume dance.
What are we gonna do when we get there?
What's
the goal?
The goal is to not talk, not show your hands, so you'll have to cover your hands, and to keep quiet.
Okay.
Try not to do anything human.
I generally don't.
The one thing to remember, they don't like people behind them. It scares them. So either
Stay-
beside them
Let them see you.
and let them see you, and do not step on a chick.
Don't step on the chick. Yeah, maybe the bird can help. Hey, Troy, how long does it take to set up a shot? I'm just curious. While we're young, Troy. So we're going to take these chicks out into the rain and get them some exercise. I'll be trying very hard not to step on them while wearing a costume that discourages visibility. Should be fun. Earlier today, we showed up at the Patuxent Wildlife Research Center with no plan. So far, it's working out fine. We met Dr. French and Jane.
Brief pronunciation question. Is it whooping or hooping?
You can say either.
Jane, what's your preference?
Whooping.
Some potential ambiguity going on here.
Are you confused?
No, I'm crystal clear.
Okay.
Can't wait to see what's next. Should we be whispering?
Yeah, this is good, yeah.
Okay, this is good.
You ready?
These chicks take regular trips outside a couple times a day. Now, I'm dressed up like a ghost with a puppet on each hand. But this is the job. Imprinting on the puppet head and not the human holding it is critical. This way they learn to forage for insects and worms, which is a necessary skill for surviving in the wild.
We hate rainy days.
That was great. That was really weird.
It's crazy.
So, Sharon, why do you dress up like this and run around in the rain and the mud, chasing cranes, or enticing them to follow you all day long?
I love what I do. Crazy as it is. I can't believe I get paid for it.
They pay you?
I've never done anything else but work with animals.
So, I mean, it's work. It's real work.
It's a lot of work. It's hard work. It's hot work.
How long have you been doing it?
I've been here 9 years.
What'd you do before this?
I worked at Baltimore Zoo for 14 years.
What'd you do there?
Penguins.
Penguins. So the crane we just walked, you walk 3 times a day?
Yes. We do that for 20 minutes for each chick 2 or 3 times a day, in addition to everything else.
So let's do the math. 50 chicks, 3 walks a day, 20 minutes per walk. That's 3,000 minutes or 50 hours of combined walking every day.
All right, well, thank you for, oh, we didn't name him. I bet you Fraser is a popular name.
We don't have a crane named Fraser.
Well, it just happened just like that.
It does. That's how it does happen.
Fraser Crane.
Somebody hold the doorknob.
Curse these hands.
Once Dr. French and company finish their part, the birds move on to a whole new adventure.
What our goal is for these birds is to imprint them on an ultralight aircraft and then use that imprinting instinct to have the ultralight aircraft take them south on their first migration.
And that first migration involves Operation Migration, a group of people responsible for getting the birds off the ground and into the air.
When they get old enough to fly, we ship them up to Wisconsin where they actually learn to fly behind the ultralight aircraft.
But that's a story for another day. Maybe the day I can sweet talk an insurance company into letting me go up into one of those hang gliders with a motor. For now, I'm content to stay here on the ground in Maryland, where the whooping crane's best hope for survival lies with a group of dedicated human beings carrying out a mission that some believe harkens all the way back to the dawn of creation.
You see the female down in the grass just on the far shore of the pond there?
Yeah.
She's sitting on a nest.
She's right at the edge of the pond. That's where her nest is.
What's the goal? When are you done?
Right.
How do you know?
We're done when the whooping crane comes off the endangered species list, which is a roundabout way of saying we've got a lot of birds in the wild that are breeding and we're confident that they can reproduce themselves in the wild.
Do you see it happening in your lifetime?
Actually, I do.
It would be kind of a bittersweet celebratory day, you know? Everybody, we're going home. We're done. We saved them.
We're saving the cranes and working ourselves out of a job.
Exactly.
There's always another species that needs help.
The whooping cranes aren't out of the woods yet, but saving them is not exactly a glamorous gig. Most people have no idea that Jane and Sharon and John are even out here with their puppets and their crazy crane costumes and their ultralights doing what they do. But it's got to be done, and these are the faithful who got to do it.